A while ago, I made a video about ups and downs of my life in Italy as a foreigner. And the video about my struggles went a bit viral. Some people took it very personally, and some, of course, could relate. But what surprised me the most is how many Italians resonated with this video and actually wrote me comments about the fact that this is not only my experience, but that's their reality too. Ciao! I'm Vlada. 6 years ago, I moved to Italy chasing my dreams, and since then I've built my life here. I got my master's degree and even started a business here. But the more I live here, the more I notice the pattern that keeps coming up in the conversations, both online and in real life. And that made me stop and ask why so many Italians born in the country so admired around the world actually decide to leave it. So that's how the idea for this video came to me, and I started digging. I read a lot of articles, I watched many TikToks, I spoke to my Italian friends and looked at the numbers, and statistics actually say a lot, because only last year 90,000 Italians left their country, and most of them were under 40. And of course, numbers only tell a part of the story, and behind them are real people making tough choices. So in this video, I want to share what I found, the reasons why young Italians leave Italy in their own words. It's not gonna be my opinion, just real stories and stats. Imagine this: you graduated with top grades, you worked hard, you are full of energy, ready to start your career, but in Italy, instead of opportunity, you are met with a wall of unpaid internships, temporary contracts, and the salaries that almost haven't grown in past 30 years. And that's the reality for many young Italians. There was a girl on TikTok who shared how she worked for free for 6 months in an internship, hoping then to get a real job, but instead they just replaced her with another intern. And then there was another story of a person who was 28 and had a degree and had an experience, but still lived with his parents because he just couldn't afford rent. And while in many countries being young is an asset, times for learning, career opportunities and growth, many Italians feel like they're just too young to have real chances here in Italy. And if you live in a small town, it can be even worse. Some of them have to leave their hometowns for really low paid jobs or free internships in the big cities. Meanwhile, those big cities like Milan, Florence or other ones are having incredibly high rents and incredibly high costs of living. So even having a real job doesn't really guarantee you financial independence. And it's not just about money, it's more about feeling of constant uncertainty. How do you think about buying a house, starting a family, planning for the future when your entire lives feel so temporary? For many young Italians, living is not about necessarily rejecting their country or something like that. It's more about seeking better opportunities. And they feel like despite their love for Italy, its culture, family, lifestyle, the lack of opportunities just makes it hard to build a stable future here. It's a choice made out of necessity rather than desire, as many feel they have to leave in order to grow professionally and gain financial independence. However, it's not about just leaving for jobs. Many feel that Italy holds back their entrepreneurial dreams. Entrepreneurship in Italy is hard, and sometimes it just feels like the system isn't designed to help you succeed, especially if you're trying to innovate or grow a business. Believe me, I feel that one. Entrepreneurs in Italy often feel like they are up against the environment that rewards stability over risk. While some other countries embrace ambitious entrepreneurs, in Italy there is really little incentives for those willing to take the plunge. Little benefits, no easy access to resources, and general lack of support for those willing to push the boundaries. One of the biggest barriers is lack of financial aid for new businesses. Some Italians shared that they are struggling to find funding, whether they're trying to start a tech company or a creative project. In contrast, in other countries, startup incubators, government grants, grants, and venture capitals are far more accessible. In Italy, creating new workspaces or launching a business is a daunting task. Bureaucracy, high taxes, and red tape slow things down. Starting a company is a long process filled with obstacles that making it harder to grow. The other reason that kept coming up in social media of some Italians was about them leaving because maybe Italy is not as open-minded as some other countries. They feel judged for their bodies, their choices, and how they live. They share that there's a constant pressure to fit in the idea of what is acceptable, especially outside of the big cities. They talk about how their personal choices, whether it's career, relationships, or even appearance, is often scrutinized. It's not just about societal expectations. It's this feeling of being constantly watched and judged. On top of that, many young Italians feel that Italy is still behind when it comes to social rights like reproductive rights, LGBTQ+ acceptance, and gender equality. Especially women say that their choices, their personal choices about their family, career, their bodies are still being judged. Many of them are living to find places where they can make these choices freely without constant feeling of being judged and limitations. The other topic that kept coming up was that many people live for better work-life balance, which often unfortunately is out of reach in Italy. The culture of long working hours, limited vacations, and high expectations for personal sacrifice can make it very hard for Italians to have a fulfilling personal life alongside their careers. This is especially true for cities like Milan, where cost of living is high and work demands are intense. Some may leave to pursue a better quality of life, a place where they can still enjoy their careers without feeling consumed by them. But I have to say, despite all the named challenges, many young Italians love their country and they would definitely return if they would have better opportunities here. Really, I found TikToks where people were saying that if they would have decent work opportunities here, they would return. From everything that I've seen, I got an impression that the bond with Italy of Italians who left this country, it's very, very strong. And to be fair, while many of them are leaving, there are signs of change. For example, cities like Turin are showing promise. With a growing scene in tech, health, and sustainability, Turin is becoming a hub of innovation. This proves that with the right opportunities for young Italians, there is hope to build something meaningful at home. And to encourage them to return, Italy is offering some incentives like tax breaks that can reduce taxable income by 70%, and if you move to South Italy, even by 90%. These efforts are made to encourage young professionals to contribute to their country growth. So what about you? If you are an Italian, are you choosing to stay or to leave? Or maybe you are just dreaming of moving to Italy? Anyway, I'd love to know where you stand. Just drop a comment below and let's talk. And if you found my video interesting, make sure to like and subscribe, and see you in the next one. Ciao!